Hey, Andrew here at SHOT 2020 with Adam from LWRC, and this is the new hotness, right?
Yes, sir, it is.
So, clearly a pistol caliber, not carbine.
Right, pistol caliber pistol.
I presume that this is going to be available as an SBR also?
It will. Right now, we can't even build the pistol configuration fast enough, and
yeah,
you know, with 4-in-1s being so popular right now, nobody's really buying SBR, like factory SBRs.
Yeah.
So I mean, we have guys that, and females too, I'm sure, that are already doing the 4-in-1, have already SBR'd it, and I know the B&T side folder, you can remove this screw here, the hinge pin on the SB tactical brace, and the B&T will drop right in there. So
oh, nice.
That's probably one of the better options right now, but we will have different plates that will have different adapters, and I'm sure there's other companies that are probably going to come out with some type of a stock to mount on it as well.
Now, the pistol braces are definitely a gateway drug to the SBR.
They are.
Back before pistol braces were even popular, that's how my SBR started. Is a short barrel. This is 11.5-inch AR with just a buffer tube.
Right.
But that let me play around with that configuration before I submit a stamp and all that. So yeah, I mean, I'm sure there aren't a lot of people buying factory
Every
SBRs.
once in a while, we'll get a phone call from a dealer, and they're like, "No, I got this guy. He insists he wants it as a factory SBR." So, you know, we can do that too.
So walk me through some of the features, because I can see some of this. There's a non-reciprocating charging handle, but it's got this nifty spring on it to return it.
That's what it stays forward. It's a really light spring, just enough to push that forward. But that's also ambidextrous. You can pop it out. So for a left-handed shooter, you can install it right
Reversible.
there. And it doesn't take any extra tools. It pops out, pops right in place.
I like this this bolt catch.
Right. So our ambi bolt catch, it's found on all of our firearms. I'm a right-handed shooter, and never had I thought, before that I would need ambi controls.
Yeah.
But our controls are so perfectly located that you can completely control the firearm with your shooting hand.
Yeah.
And I love that about all of our products, especially this gun. We've got our ambi selector. It's the same selector from an AR-15. We tried to stay with a lot of the characteristics of a standard AR-15 lower. So this grip, that is our own grip, but you can put any grip that would go onto an AR-15 lower.
Of course.
And that is actually an ALG trigger. You can drop in any AR trigger if you like. So if you wanted to go with a Geisley or a Timney or even an old mil-spec trigger. Now it doesn't hinge forward. You're not going to be able to do that.
Oh, okay.
So the way it comes down, and I don't really want to do it here in the booth because I don't want to, especially on video. But this, the 2 takedown pins, they pull just like a regular takedown pin situation.
And it'll slide off.
And it kind of disconnects, and then this slides. So there's 3
we got to get
pieces.
rid of this before we can.
Right.
Okay.
So this is actually held in place through the rear takedown lug, so that pin kind of holds it all in place. But what you get by doing that is, there's no play. You see how solid, like it all feels like one piece.
It's very rigid.
And with that being said, people are asking like, well, when are we going to get it in Cerakote colors? And I asked the engineer that's the head of the SMG program. I mentioned Cerakote colors, and the look on his face was just the fear, because the tolerances are so tight that by doing Cerakote,
because it adds a couple thousand.
You may not even be able to get the gun together. It's very minuscule, but it wouldn't take much because the tolerances are so tight on these guns.
So this says 45.
Yes, sir.
So we've got.
We got to talk about the delay blowback operation.
Okay, let's talk about it.
So if you release this, so the barrel reciprocates.
Oh, sweet.
Now it's an inline reciprocation. It's got about a 1/4 inch of travel, and then there's a collar in here that locks these two together. It falls down and disengages, so then the bolt will travel to the back, and when it picks up the next round and comes forward, it picks the barrel up again.
Okay.
So by doing that, it's going to take out pretty much all of the recoil. It's one of the smoothest shooting 45s that you'll ever shoot.
So we can see it moving around just a little bit
back.
there. Yeah.
So then when you send the bolt home, it will go forward.
Yeah.
So obviously, when you're running a suppressor, you're going to want some type of piston in there.
Yeah.
We have had people say that they're running like a 3-lug or a direct mount on a can. And I mean, they say they've done it with no problems, but it'll have to be a super lightweight suppressor for it to do that, because the added mass wouldn't allow the bolt or the barrel to move.
But because it's delayed blowback, we can get away with a little bit lighter bolt, which of course keeps the overall weight lighter.
Exactly.
I imagine that it's probably a little less port noise because we're going to open up a little bit later.
Right. I know shooting it
little
suppressed,
less gas.
when you shoot it suppressed, it's really quiet. It's really nice.
Awesome.
Let's see, what was the next one? Oh, it's got a paddle magazine release.
Yep.
Because it
takes Glock mags.
Yeah. Glock mags. Yes. I'm
going to get fired.
No, we're taking HK UMP mags. Well, I say HK, obviously HK originally did them, but
there
we
are
are
multiple
sourcing
manufacturers,
them.
right?
Well, you can get, if you wanted to use the true German HK UMP mags, they run fine.
Sure.
And we also
if you want to spend as much on the magazine as you did on the gun.
Nah, that'd be hard to do. With the MSRP at $29.95.
Yeah.
But
you can get a few mags for that.
Yeah, you could get a couple. But we source them in the U.S. Now we are changing the spring on the U.S.-made magazines. So every time they come in, when we get a shipment in, we completely take the mags apart. We're putting a better spring in there, and then there was a little tab inside the magazine that we're removing because it was failing and causing some feed issues.
So you can run factory HK mags, but you probably shouldn't because it's not going to work that great.
No, not the factory HK mags would be fine. The U.S. made mags were having a quality issue.
I had it backwards. Okay,
Yeah,
so let's fix my dumbass.
But no, so when you buy them from us, there's a V1 engraved on the bottom of the rear mag, because of the first 800 units that went out, we had, I think there was about 45 that needed to come in, and we found out that majority of the issues could be narrowed down to the magazine. So we started retrofitting the mags, and it's pretty much eliminated any type of issues. We were on the range Monday. We had 2 of these on the line, and we went through 5,000 rounds. Now we didn't get an exact round count on each unit, but the gun that they were pretty much both running side by side all day long. We were doing 10 rounds in each mag, and then later went to 15. And the gun that I was running did not have one single malfunction. We'll lowball it and say 2,000 rounds. We did have one gun that there were a couple times when people were folding it and shooting it as a true pistol. When it's limp wristed, it jammed up. And then we did pull one mag off the line that it had a misfeed like 1 or 2 times, but we had 7 malfunctions out of 5,000 rounds. Obviously, we would much rather say there were 0 malfunctions out of 5,000 rounds.
Yeah.
But
that's a pretty decent mean rounds between failure especially for something that's pretty early in production.
Absolutely.
So speaking of production, when can we buy one?
So they started shipping July 3rd of last year. We've shipped about 1,000 units, maybe give or take some. But the back order, we can't build them as fast as the orders are coming in. Now, when we released it, we had material on hand for 500, and we were going to use that 500 to kind of see how well it was received. In today's market, $3,000, $29.95 pistol caliber carbine, we knew that was pretty ridiculous. But when we announced
being
it,
poor.
I didn't say that. But when we announced that we were going to do it, if we would have believed all of the social media feedback and everybody was saying we're going to go bankrupt, like nobody's going to buy it. So we were getting hateful comments about how ridiculous that was. Well, now we're getting the hateful comments because we're not building them fast enough, which is funny.
You can't do anything right.
Yeah, but we are ramped up. We're going to sit. We're shipping out 200 a month. That's the goal. The goal is to do 200 a month every month from now until the backlog is satisfied. Now, obviously, we would like to get the backlog manageable to the point that when we release the 9mm in the future, because we don't want a bunch of people that have committed or put money down on a 45 and then start calling the dealers and canceling orders. So we're obviously going to try to satisfy both markets. We just got to do it right.
Is there going to be a lot of parts interchangeability between the 45 and 9mm version?
Yeah, so there will be a conversion kit. It'll be a barrel and a breech.
Okay, so if you have the 45 version.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
If you buy the 45 and you
probably
want to do
direction.
the 9, what do you mean?
If you buy the 9mm later on down the road,
No,
will you be
it'll
able to convert
be the
back
same.
to 45?
Yeah, because
Awesome.
it'll be through the same lower receiver.
And
So
more
it'll-
importantly, if you're doing 45, then that means you've got room in here for best millimeter. So someday, maybe?
It's been asked. It's asked a lot. I agree. I think it would be awesome.
I know, it's a niche. It would make
and see,
people
that's
like
the
me
thing.
really, really happy, but there's a lot more boomers who want 45 and a lot more normal people who want 9mm than there are people who want best millimeter.
Right. So with that, what I kind of jokingly tell people, it took us 6 years to do the 45. Like by the time we did 10 mil, people started calling. They were making fun of us because now we're fuds making a 45. But when we had it here in 2015, everybody loved it. Like, oh my God, that's amazing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that stays true to the UMP.
Absolutely.
People want the UMP look and feel and all of that, and this comes very close. It's very reminiscent of the lines of the UMP with this style of triangle stock and all that.
Well, I wish we had brought one of the magazines, the empty mags, with us from the range, because when you throw a mag in this thing, it looks fantastic.
Yeah.
I love the look of the gun. It runs great. It's fun to shoot.
I like these cuts in here that kind of continue the M-LOK look through the receiver. Obviously, we're not going to mount through.
I was going to say,
but
well, the key is, and this is one of the things that we catch flack on. You said the M-LOK look. It looks like M-LOK, but it's not.
Okay.
We have our own. It's the same mounting system that we use on our piston guns, the threaded pattern. So the accessories that we run on all of our piston and DI guns that are non-M-LOK mount on this, but that's, a lot of the trolls, they want to say like, oh yeah, let's make a $3,000 gun and put rail on it that looks like M-LOK, and it's not M-LOK. So at this point, I think we do things on purpose just to feed the trolls, just to give them something to troll about.
If you can, please, everything you can do to piss off the bad people on the internet.
That's right.
Do it. They deserve it.
I just came up with a new hashtag. It's going to be hashtag Trollo. I don't even know if it'll go off. I think YOLO died out long enough ago that Trollo wouldn't really pick up.
Yeah, probably.
So, yeah, we'll cut that.
Okay, so this part's a little wider. I can't unscrew it with my fingers, but that looks like a thread protector.
It is.
What pitch is the threads?
That is 5.78/28.
Awesome.
And then with the magazines, one of the questions we get about 10 mil, as long as there's enough room in the magwell, that would be.
That's the main thing. Is the cartridge overall length.
Right. That's about the extent in which we have looked at 10 mil. And it's, as long as we can make it fit without having to do a dedicated lower receiver for 10 mil, then it doesn't take it out of possibility. I'm still not going to say that we will do it or won't do it, but if it will not fit through that magwell, we won't be doing it.
And in the 9mm version, I presume, is going to also take UMP, or are we going
that's
to
correct.
the?
It'll be the 9mm UMP max.
Okay. Well, that makes sense. Keeps things consistent.
Right.
Well, Adam, thank you for your time.
Yes, sir. It was a pleasure.
Thank you for tolerating my BS.
Thank you for tolerating mine.
Thank you guys for watching. We're going to be at a lot of booths. Stay tuned. I love you.